Guys, thank you so much here for tuning in again on this, what is it today? Monday. Today is Monday. Oh wow, sorry guys. So here, microphone was too loud. So let's directly jump into this here. When we look at the DXY, we see that the market did not take well that big stock market liquidation, and people were rallying back into the dollar. That's why we saw here that pump back to 108 points. But this resistance here of 108.4 has held. So from there, we should now see slowly continuation to the downside, and that will give then also relief to risk on assets like Bitcoin and the overall altcoin market. So I know you could not see the intro that I actually were speaking about just like almost a minute ago. I saw it here on my phone. You know, guys, I watch the chat from my phone. So and I don't see anyone writing something in the chat, by the way. So if you're writing something, I cannot see it. I don't know why. Anyway, what I was saying was that I found fractals that are exactly repeating themselves like in previous cycles for Bitcoin. And we need to talk about this because I have seen it before. I know a lot of you guys are super scared, think the bull market is over. We go now back into like a month-long consolidation before we see another move to the upside, and maybe it's only a lower high, and then we go back into the bear market. So this is not what's happening, guys. So let me show you one chart to give you a better understanding what actually is happening here. So I went here into the year of 2020, specifically around the same time where we were also starting to break out. And you can see here, don't mess with my chart now, only by reloading it, then I go crazy. So let it reload quick. Give me my chart back, come on. Give it back to me. Okay, let's wait here a couple of seconds, but I should get my chart back here now. Oh, don't tell me it removed what I had here. Then I go crazy. If I have to put it back. Okay. So I only have to go over here to get what I want. Okay. Everything fine. Okay. So here we go. So in the first week we had, so these are week numbers. So in the first week we had here a slow climb upwards, also in the second week. Then in the third week we had the first small correction here. Then we had another climb in the fifth week. Then by the end of the fifth week, we got another drop. And then in the seventh week, again, a drop into the eighth week. And then another small drop into the ninth week before we then finally came back up and continued the upwards trajectory. So guys, guess where we are right now? We are right now in week number 8 in this cycle. So as you can see, at some point, we should get here by the end of the week, most likely, a nice move back to the upside. And then in the week 9, a small consolidation before we get then in the first week of January, a nice pump here back to the upside. If this fractal that we found here is repeating itself as it did here in the past. But for now, we are highly accurate. We're following this 9-week period. We only have to wait for another 2 weeks, 13 days basically, actually less, so if we get this week a nice pump back to the upside above $100,000, I would consider this to be accurate and getting continuation then into January. I also got to show you later something else that is also pointing to the same fact, and that is not Bitcoin correlated, that we are not at the end of this bull market just yet. So now when we go into a 12-hourly time frame to get the more short-term outlook here, what is actually going on. So here we still have some bearishness here in the chart, and that comes directly from the VPVR and the EMA ribbon, because the price action is below the EMA ribbon, is below the POC, the point of control on the VPVR here at $97,700 approximately. So this is a level that we need to reclaim in the next, I would say, 24 hours. That is kind of the time window that I want to see it. At the same time, breaking back into the EMA ribbon, because also the 12-hourly ribbon is a ribbon that we don't want to see flipping into a downtrend, because it puts again downwards side pressure on Bitcoin that can again affect all the indicators and turn them around. Instead of here getting soon a buy signal, potentially in this current 12-hourly candle, it could just roll over and we get one more flush to the downside. The MACD would turn around, the RSI would turn around. We don't want to see that, you know. So, and to prevent that, we need to get here a push into the at least $97,700 area. On the 4-hourly chart, here I'm a little bit more bullish when I look at this, because the MDX algo scalp gradients, they start to heat up here a little bit again. We start to see here now the early stages of here a blue wave again, and from the blue wave, you know, we go into purple, from purple into pinkish, then red, you know, and so on and so on. The only problem here that I see is the golden ratio, and look where the golden ratio is sitting, $97,700. You cannot make this up, you know. So again, another confluence level on the lower time frames that we need to reclaim that level to get here continuation back to the upside. And at the same time here, the super trend is currently also here in a bearish mode on the MDX algo here. That red string here, that is also currently sitting at around the $97,800 level. In another 4 hours, it will print a plot that will be around the top of the golden ratio. So also here another indication that we need to come here a little bit higher. Something else I want to point out here on the 4-hourly chart is that you can kind of make out here a W pattern here. So, and this is actually a pretty accurate one, because you have here your lower low, you have here your higher low. Now we only need to break above the neckline, which is more or less sitting at $99,360. So this will be for me the signal that we are definitely now in continuation to the upside, because we are only $200 from $100,000 away again. And why should not Bitcoin move higher? So also on the MDX reactor indicator, also here I see early signs of a reversal, and that comes from this section over here, where the wave tries here to break back into bullish territory, and also tries to spread wider open again within the red and the green band. Now when we look on ZoomX, I was lucky enough that I have still a shitload of limit orders here on Bitcoin. So you see, because I averaged down in my positions, I'm up $21,000 here currently on my Bitcoin position, and I have still, just in case that for some weird reason we drop lower, I still have way lower limit orders. I gonna leave them here for now, because you never know, you know. So maybe there's one crazy flash crash and they all get tapped, you know, which I actually don't expect. But just in case, you know, I'm gonna leave them there until $100,000. Then I'm gonna move them up to be fully allocated in this position here. I have a nice entry right now here, averaged down to $94,000. So I cannot complain here on this specific trade. Again, if you want to trade on ZoomX, there is a link in the description. You still get $45,000 worth of deposit bonuses, and ZoomX is the place to go if you cannot trade on Bybit. If you're in the US, Canada, Europe, in certain countries, India, wherever you cannot use Bybit, ZoomX is the place to go, guys. Now, on the 1 hourly time frame, here you can see it even better, how that W is shaping up here. If you're looking for an entry into this W, so there's two ways how you can do that. There's one that's a little bit more risky. Here at 96,000, what is this? $96,500 approximately. So when you see here price action breaking above that support resistance flip zone, there you could take a small risk to get here already into that W before we are breaking almost $100,000. If you want to add to that position, I would do it around 97,700, because we know the golden ratio is sitting there. And then the last step where I would add would be here the 0.5 level at $100,400 to that position. Then I would let it run. You know, I would not add anywhere else anymore to that position. I would from there onwards let it run. And once we are getting here above like $105,000, I would set my stop loss to my entry price. So that is how I would trade that potential W scenario. And again, do it in the 3 phases that I taught you guys. You know, in the first phase a little bit, then a little bit more, you know, so, and then you leave it, and then you leave it. And on the pullbacks, you have 30% left on the side where you can add if we come back into the prices where you originally opened the position. Now, on the liquidation level side, here also a huge confluence that we should get a nice move to the upside. Look at this here. This is all high leveraged liquidity that is untapped. So there is no reason why the market makers should drive price lower if there is $12,000. There's a 12,000. Is it 12,000? No, there's a 8. There's a no. It is 12,000. Yeah. So there is a $12,000 price move to liquidate all these liquidation levels. So, and that's of course that's insane. You know, so that means they can move Bitcoin 10% to the upside without a lot of effort and liquidate all these over leveraged shorts that are sitting here, including some lower leveraged ones. But when you see something like this, you know this is a ticking time bomb, and just a matter of when they're going to send it to the upside. Again, so if they play in a certain algorithmic cycle way that I showed you here in the beginning with the 9-week factorization, then they just wait another couple of days or up to 10 days or something like that, just to try to grind people even more a little bit with chopping it here sideways, you know, so that they lose faith before they're gonna send it out of nowhere then to the upside. Because when the sentiment is completely gone, you know, so that's normally when you see the crazy moves happening. So why? So no, we need here first the liquidation map. So here also on the liquidation heat map, over the last 2 weeks, you see here below us, there's almost no liquidity anymore. Right now, the most interested area would be here $99,680 approximately, and then here on the way up, 106,000 approximately, 108,800 approximately. So and there are currently still huge pockets of liquidity. So I can tell you directly, once we're touching here, what is this? 97,000. Yeah, again, $97,700. From there, most likely we're gonna get a short squeeze into $100,000. There we're gonna trigger another cascade of squeezes, and that could really easily catapult us within 48 hours to $105,000, all the way from $97,700. So an $8,000 move within 48 hours. So that is roughly also an 8% move in Bitcoin. That would be nothing out of the ordinary, and most likely what's going to happen here. So now let me get into this here. So why do I believe that we are also not done with altcoins? Because again, we have seen this before. When did the dominance break down and we got one of the biggest altcoin seasons that we have ever seen from 2020 into 2021? By the end of the year, the dominance broke down in 2020 massively. So now look at the similarities. Here, that run to the upside here, and that run to the upside here. So maybe here we are almost done, and we just chop sideways into the new year before we get the drop. Or dominance could run one more time a little bit higher, and that would coincide with Bitcoin moving to the upside. And then wherever Bitcoin stops, I think there might be then the moment where we're gonna finally see the rollover and the real altcoin season starts, the real party starts, and then we have roughly 5 to 9 months, maybe 10 months, where the market will go absolutely ballistic. So, and if you're not allocated in altcoins correctly before we are reaching the tipping point, you might have another chance here in that sideways chop here, then we're most likely also going to put in at some point, where you can reaccumulate one more time some altcoins and add to your positions. If you miss this area here, once it's coming, it's over. You know, the bull run is done for you, in my opinion. You know, in my opinion, you can still make some money, but it will be like 2-3x something. You know, so if you don't have like $50,000, $100,000 in your portfolio, you will not make life-changing money anymore. You have last chance to allocate into altcoins in that section here if we actually get it, you know. So at some point, of course, we're going to get a section like that, but if it's not happening around February, March, and it's a little bit delayed, it might also then shorten the period that you have to take full advantage of the rest of the bull market. So that's why it's much better you do it right now into that run up here, you know, where most of the coins are way down from where they were before, like 4 weeks ago, and you enjoy the bull run, you know. So, but again, if you miss it in a consolidation period like over here, that is your last chance. If you miss it, I'm sorry to say it, but like I said, I think the bull run is done for you for this cycle. You know, there will be, of course, a next cycle again, but who knows if I will be around, you know. So I don't know yet. It would be another 4 years of YouTube making videos every day, you know. So I'm not sure if I want to do this, you know, just yet. So also on Bybit, my altcoin trades, I'm not gonna hide it from you guys. You know, my COTI trade is still in a loss, in a massive loss. But my HBAR trade, for some weird reason, my HBAR trade survived, you know. So, and here I'm nicely up right now, not concerned about this, how this is going. But also COTI trade, not worried about this. I'm gonna show you COTI here in a moment. I know I get all this money back plus profit, and then it will be fine, you know. So if you can use Bybit, guys, use Bybit. There's a link in the description for that. Also there you still get sign-up bonuses, and is one of my main exchanges that I'm actually trading on, guys. Now when we're looking here now in the shorter time frames for the dominance, you see here overall we are still following that fractal, but like I said, I don't know if Bitcoin will attempt one more run. So, and if Bitcoin attempts one more run, then I usually need to, where is this now? To put in this here. No, it was over here, yes. So what could happen is that, like I said, Bitcoin does something like this here, one more time, comes up here, and only then starts to break down. So I'm gonna make this a different color. We can differentiate that a little bit better in red. So we are now here in this leg here. So in this leg, so if it goes one more time higher, then wherever it's gonna stop, from there it will start to break down and follow the overall trajectory. So like I said, so this can be as early as in a week. It can be as late as like the 5th or 6th January, and this is going to happen. But the main thing for us is it's going to happen, you know. So this is not the end of the cycle, guys. The total free market cap also still following the overall trajectory that we have. So I believe we're gonna see a push here back to like $1 trillion. From there, we're gonna get one more small correction here to the top of the underlying box that we are currently trying to break back into to $980 billion approximately. And then you're gonna see here a couple of days, it might be only 3-4 days, some sideways chop in between these two areas, between that resistance box over here and then the underlying support box here, and then we break it and then we go to Valhalla really quickly. Ethereum, so Ethereum came back into the $3,200, $3,400 level. So now you see why in the beginning Ethereum was struggling so much to break into that box, because now it's holding strong support. You can see that here with that wick candle where we came straight back up, but also here I would like to see a nice turnaround where we come at least above the golden ratio at $3,500 approximately, reclaiming the midsection of the EMA ribbon, and then get continuation here to the upside. So currently the $3,800 level is again resistance. Should change the color here for the time being. So once also here we are back above the EMA ribbon, expect continuation. Also same thing here, you know, so this might still take a couple of days, but I expect here somewhat of a V-shaped recovery on the daily chart. So, but because it's a V-shape, you know, so this can extend also into early January before this is completed and we are back above $3,800. Solana, more or less the same thing. What I like here about Solana is that the RSI finally turns here around on the daily chart. The stochastic RSI printing a buy signal. The MACD also showing selling pressure is fading out. and we have held also a key area of support here at $180. As long as we are now moving here back above $190, we should also get continuation really quickly to the upside and continue that run here into new all-time high for Solana, which might be coming quicker than anybody thinks, you know, because Solana is closer to a new all-time high than Ethereum is. You know, Ethereum needs like almost 50% move. Solana needs a 20% move, you know, so a 20-30% move into a new all-time high. So if I look from here, okay, 40%, but still Ethereum needs way more than that. Now COTI, so I'm still, like, as you have seen, I just hold my COTI, still my COTI trade. Here, the price action looks really similar to Bitcoin with a potential W pattern. We need to get back here above 13 cents 0.7 to complete the W pattern on the 4-hourly chart. Once we are above that level, I expect that we get a really fast move here into 15 cents 0.8. That will almost get me to break even. Once we flip that level here, continuation into 20 cents should be programmed for us. Here on the daily chart, you can also clearly see the stochastic is flatlining, the RSI slightly turning around, the MACD is turning around. So I also believe that here the 10 cents 0.4, 0.5 level was the local bottom here, and that also was a higher low. You know, you see here higher low, higher low, higher low, and that's absolutely fine. You know, so we put in we just put in a higher low, and that should get us continuation. And now we know what's coming next. You know, so when you put in higher lows, you're always if we argue that the structure is still intact, then we're gonna put in also a new higher high, and the new higher high will be around the 21-22 cent mark over the next couple of weeks. Let me have a quick look in the chat, guys. What do you mean what happened to you? I was let me explain quick what happened with me over the last couple of days really quickly. So you knew that I was going out with some crypto friends, so I warned you that I'm not making a video. The next day we were going out again, and it was around the same time that we went out. So, and the problem is that specific time where we started to go out, there was no point in making a video because my thumbnail designer cannot make a thumbnail as early as I would have needed a thumbnail to be in any way able to make a live stream. So, and yesterday I arrived here in Vietnam and I was done. You know, 2 days partying. I'm not 18 anymore. You know, so I was, to be honest, I was fucked up. You know, I just wanted to eat and go sleep, and that's what I did. You know, that's why yesterday I did not make a video. You know, so I was like, no, I'm done. You know, I want to eat, then I want to go to sleep. And that's what I did, you know, that's why I came today. But tomorrow I will be also there, guys. I will be there tomorrow. So let's continue here. Then Casper, same thing here on the daily chart, you know. So when I go up here, also just a higher low that we put in. So here is the lower low, here's the higher low, here's another higher low technically. So, but I think the next higher low, the real next higher low will be somewhere here at the 13 cents mark. Also here, if you would like to get into Casper right now, I think will be a good moment, you know, so especially on spot, you cannot go wrong here right now, because look at the stochastic. The stochastic is flatlining here for 10 days. So at some point there will be a really hated candle being printed over the next couple of days that will just go up like that and will make like a 20-30% move in a single day. I would not be surprised to see something like this in Casper because of the extended period that the stochastic was here flatlined, and also the RSI here. So here in the RSI, I see a really small, really small bullish divergence here on the daily chart. I need to get a little bit higher. So is here. Yes, so there, RSI going down, price going up. So here is a small, really small hidden bullish divergence. So, and that is also suggesting that we are soon going back to the upside if that hidden bullish divergence is playing out. So for Casper also not the worst moment to get in. You have the targets here with the dashed lines where you can get out on the way up, you know. So but I would personally, that's just me, you know, you do whatever you want, but my target is here the 18 cents mark, you know. So I want so if I would be going into a short-term trade on Casper, that would be my target, the 18 cents mark. But actually I would be targeting here 20, 21 cents and potentially even higher. If I would to build, if I would go and build a long-term position on Casper, I would even not sell on here 21 cents, you know. So this might go way higher, this bull run. So AVAX effed me really good, you know. So I lost in total like $50,000 on AVAX, which was not so nice, but I can always make it back, you know. So that's why I wasn't really concerned about this, but it happens, you know. It happens. It's part of the bull run, guys, you know. You win some, you lose some, and in the end, as long as you are coming out with more money than you went in, it's fine, you know. So here on the 4-hourly chart, I must say, looks really similar to the COTI chart in terms of the indicators. Again, also here, potential W pattern. You need here move to the upside to complete the W pattern. Completion would be around $42.40. Also here, if you want to get into a position right now, I would wait for a break here of $38 approximately. Here's my drawing skills. Yeah, $38, yes. That's where I would get in. Or if we turn one more time around and you get a chance to buy at $36.10, there would be the other place where I would start buying, you know. So then here you do the same thing that I explained on Bitcoin. You layer, you know. So here's your second phase and here's your third phase on the top of the W pattern, and from there onwards you don't buy anymore. You let it run. You let it run to the upside, and it's going to run past $100, guys. Past $100, I think before March. Before March, it's going to triple, in my opinion. So that's why when I go potentially in 2 weeks out and build a new AVAX position, I'm gonna hold that past $100, potentially even into $200. That is my plan for AVAX. Now Uni, on the daily chart, I don't like Uni right now that much because I see here a small turnaround in the stochastic RSI. Maybe if I zoom in, you can see. No, you cannot really see it, but my experience tells me, maybe if there you see it. Now you can see it a little better. See how this is here, making the small turn here. That small turn, I don't like that. So, but this is because Uni is facing resistance at $14.45, which is a strong resistance from the past. It might be just due to the fact that Uni is struggling to break above that and is consolidating here a little bit on the daily chart before it's going to break through that. But on the daily chart, I'm not a huge fan of that. Maybe on a lower time frame, it looks different. Data price is held down also by the 50 moving average and the 200 moving average. So here the 200 moving average would be the first thing that we need to reclaim here. Yeah, also here on the 4-hourly chart, it is on the way to the downside on a stochastic RSI. So I would be not interested currently to be buying that. Most likely you get one more good chance to buy this here around the 50 moving average on the daily chart, which would be at $12.46, which is not a crazy move to the downside. I think it's like a 6% move. Oh, okay, this is a 10% move to the downside. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, you know. So 10% move, unless we are breaking here this downward sloping trend line. Otherwise, that's what you're going to see. Then Sui still really strong here. Came all the way down to $3.50. Also put in a higher low. Now in this falling wedge pattern here and about to break out of it. So if Sui breaks out and moves above $4.45, it's going back into here at close to the $5. You know, so into the $5 level really quickly here. Almost with no stop, in my opinion. That can happen in the next 24 to 48 hours, in my opinion. Really quickly. So I'm also building a new Sui position right now, based on the fact I saw this yesterday already, shaping up here when I put in this falling wedge pattern. So I'm just waiting for this 4-hourly candle to complete, and based on that, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna enter this or not. You know, so again here, same thing. You draw a line here from these support resistance flip zones. There's your first entry, up here is your second, and here at $4.86 is your last entry, and then you let it ride, you know, because I believe that SUI will be really soon around $7 or $8, really soon, guys. Then Phantom, I still have faith in Phantom, but of course now most likely the big move for that Sonic upgrade will happen afterwards, you know. So I have not a lot of confidence that the run in Phantom will happen before that. It would be really surprising if it would happen before that. I still have all my spot Phantom, so if it's happening, it's fine, you know, so I will be fine. Yeah, I don't see a lot of reasons why there should be, in the next 4 days, a huge Phantom run, you know. So also on the daily chart, let's see on the daily chart. From the daily chart, yes, there could be a run here into $1.13, but not like the crazy run that I was expecting, that will go like to $2, $2.50 before the Sonic upgrade. I think that will only happen afterwards. Into the Sonic upgrade, if we are really lucky, like back to like $1.22 is something that I can imagine, but nothing higher than that, because you're also on the weekly chart, you know, so Phantom is still in a downwards movement, only the RSI is turning around. So, and therefore, I'm not expecting anything crazy, you know, so until the upgrade is actually happening. Then Injective also formed here right now, or is on the way to form a W pattern. We fell out of that ascending triangle that we were forming, but also on the daily chart, everything is turning around. So this might be also, yeah, that was the bottom here at $18.45 approximately. So here a reclaim of $21.63 would be for me a good signal to start building a new position on leverage. On spot, I still have all my Injective. I cannot even touch it if I wanted to, because it's on my other computer in my villa, not on my laptop. So could have not even sold them if I wanted to, you know, so, and tried to buy back lower. And then again, I'm layering from $21.60 to $23.67, and then my last buy would be at roughly $28, and then I would also let this run for the rest of the bull run. Then here Cardano. Here Cardano looks a little bit different than many other coins. You have here now a 3 weeks downward sloping trend line that was not broken. So here I expect a retest over the next 5 to 6 days. In my opinion, we're going to get that. It's not a crazy move, you know. We are talking here about like a 14% move to the upside. From this downward sloping trend line, I would expect an initial rejection before we then do something like this here and go back above that higher high that we have put in here. So, but this might still take, yeah, so I would not expect that to be happening this year. You know, it might be in the first week of January at some point. So now let me quick have a look how long we're already on the stream, because I cannot see that here. Let's see here, 32 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 coins that you guys put right now into the chat, you know, so 3 coins, guys. And don't post a coin double, guys, you know, so the same you post per person 1 coin, and you don't do it double, over and over again, you know. I see it, guys. So just post 1 coin each, and then I'm gonna have a look. Okay, I do Gala. I did not have a long time look on Gala. Yes. So this is an old chart that I have on Ghana, actually. So let's see what's going on with Ghana. Ghana looks actually pretty similar to Cardano, because also here you have this downward sloping trend line that was not broken yet. So, but I can tell you something about Ghana. When we break it, this downward sloping trend line, and we're most likely going to break it also in the new year at some point. Let's say we chop sideways until next Saturday. Once we were breaking here, this is the move that you are looking for in Gala, a 71% move to the upside. You might get a small consolidation around here, the 5 cent level, because here is some order blocks that give us resistance here. You see that there's roughly $50 million in these order blocks here worth of sell positions, but then it will move past that and go here all the way up into the highs here, potentially break that and even go higher than that. So, but first you need to break this downward sloping trend line. Right now is not a bad moment to start building the position, but also here I would stop building it at around 4.5 cents. I would not add any more to a Gala position past that moment, and then you actually need to trade this into like 6 to 7 cents, yeah, to make it worthwhile in my opinion. So let me have here another look. Okay, XLM. I just did Casper, otherwise you need to watch again. Looks also similar. Why do they look also similar, these strange coins? All these dino coins look similar. So here, same thing, you know, you wait for the break of the downward sloping trend line. Only here the levels are a little bit different. So here I would, tricky. So here would be my first level where I would buy. Let me make this a little bit slimmer. So that is at 36 cents, 0.2 roughly. Next one at 40 cents, 0.6. And then another one all the way up here at 45 cents, 4. These are the levels where I would keep buying. So and at the same time, I believe when we reach here 40, yeah, let it be 45 cents, 0.5, we would have broken out already out of that downward sloping trend line. And then look over here, what happened the last time. Let me actually have a look here. No, this is way too much down. So you have here that downward sloping trend line, a small one. Look at what happened afterwards, that run here. So there was a 142% run to the upside, maybe a little bit higher than that. 146, almost 147. So I'm not saying it will repeat a 146% move, but because of the extensive time that we are consolidating here, expect a quite explosive move at some point here. I would reckon like 100% move is here definitely in the cards, you know. So if I would average from here, 100% move, most likely 80 cents would be the target that I would have here. But don't forget, you know, so this is a long-term game, you know, so this is not something that will happen overnight, you know. But just to give you some perspective here, the last time, 21st of January, November to 24th of November. So within 3 days, XLM made a move like that. So I would give it 2 weeks roughly, you know, once we break the downward sloping trend line. If it would have not pulled that kind of move in 2 weeks, most likely you will be anyway up, you know, but maybe only 40, 50, 60%. Potentially I would exit then, you know, so it's the opportunity cost would be not worth it to hold it longer in my opinion. Then let me see here, the next one. Virtuals. Virtuals is a new one. Let's see how much history we have on virtuals. I don't even know what virtual does. There's too many new coins coming out all the time. So I have no clue what it does. So virtuals, let's see here. Seems to be mainly only on spot, right? Is there not leverage on that? Oh no, there is. So the chart looks the same. That looks not that bad. That looks not that bad at all, in my opinion. So since when is this around here? Since November. Should have bought some in November. It's up over 5x, even after that drop. So your virtuals, to be safe, you want to wait for a break here of $2.84. So how much is this? This is like 6% move. Yeah, almost 5.5% move. If you want to be really, really safe, there I would actually also go a little bit heavier because we are close to break here the all-time high. From that point onwards, and most likely it's going to go to try to break the all-time high. And if it comes lower again, then I would most likely around here that level, $2.56, add some, and let's see here for targets to the upside. Yeah, look at this here. exactly the middle of the golden ratio is the level where I would go heavy, you know, to open a position, because then the next target is all the way up here at $4, $4.15, and then $5.47.